peace, infinite waters diving deep once again. Worry, problems, thoughts. And for me, on my journey, realizing that anxiety and panic and stress is not going to change anything. In essence, it just perpetuates it and makes it worse. And when we talk of stop worrying, start living, for me, it's just empowering to realize that why worry about something you have no control over? And a lot of the times we can even talk about life and death. And a lot of us, we become anxious about when we're going to die. A lot of us, we become anxious about how much money we have in our bank account. Life in itself is a big trip for most of us. It's an anxiety. It's one big anxiety moment, anxious moment. And for me, I didn't want to live like this because I realized that we don't really have to live in fear. We don't have to do that. And that frees you when you realize there's no need to worry over something you can't predict, something that you don't know about, and something which is out of your grasp and reach. And for me, when we talk of how a lot of people suffer from panic attacks and from anxiety attacks, even in my journey a long time ago, I used to suffer from these anxiety attacks. And what it showed me was that it was because I was trying to control everybody else. I was trying to control the situation. Essentially, control is an illusion. You can't control what any other person thinks or feels. All you can control is your own internal biorhythm, your own internal homeostasis. And in essence, when I came across that realization, I smiled and I said, okay, that's it. Let me let go of trying to control the situation, trying to control how people perceive me. Because in essence, all we can do is really become responsible for our own state of being. And a lot of the times when we talk of I always say this, but it's so true. Relaxation is what we are. Stress is what we think we should be. And that was another light bulb moment for me when I realized that relaxation is going back to source. Stress is going away from source. So we don't have to struggle to make it because we already are. We don't have to essentially feel inadequate. And many of us do feel inadequate. Many of us feel that we have to work hard all the time and all of these things. So we're constantly worrying. Are people going to accept me? Do I have to smile this way? Even in relationships, sometimes it can be a big. Many people are very anxious in relationships. And that's the whole thing. When people connect to their organic nature, their organic state, then really people realize that you either love me or loathe me. You either love me or hate me. And there's a thin line between the two. But essentially, it's about accepting yourself 100% and realizing that the world, the planet as we speak right now is very wounded. The majority of people are out of tune with themselves. So therefore, there's going to be a lot of worry. There's going to be a lot of depression because people aren't living according to universal law, where really we're taking care of everything around us. You have to just look around you and say, okay, is the city I'm living in, is the road I'm living in, is the house I'm living in, is my lifestyle promoting wellness, or is it keeping me in fear and bondage? And for me, this is the major question I had to ask myself. And I came to the realization that essentially I have to create that environment which is going to promote wellness. It's a constant thing. It's a daily thing. It's not something which is to be arrived at. It's something you have to work at every day to say really and truly. A lot of our fear is born out of the idea that we have to control everything around us. When that disappears, then also the fear disappears. I broke it down into three things. It's time equals fear, equals scarcity, which is the survival program. So essentially, many of us are caught in time. Whenever you're caught in time, there will always be worry and fear. But essentially, when we are timeless, which is our organic state, when we become timeless, then fear disappears, because we realize we don't have to operate on a man-made calendar. Most of the calendars in today's society were formed by emperors. You had Julius Caesar, who named himself after a month, who named a month after himself: July, Augustus. The calendar has been changed. So all of this is man-made. All of time is man-made. So when one steps outside of that, one realizes that one is just free to wander around, almost like a wanderer, like a free spirit. And in essence, you don't take on all of this energy. People are holding on to so much energy, so much past energy, so much heavy energies. And for me, on my journey, it's about letting that energy go. And that to let that energy go, you almost have to erase everything you think you are. You have to strip it bare. And that's what I'm doing every day, is stripping, taking all of these images I have about myself, even what other people tell me I am. That's also a distraction. And one just has to really flow and really become very sensitive to their inner voice, which is the intuition. The first voice is the right one. And that's how it works. But in essence, we have to always keep it simple. And we have to remember that fear is the only thing holding us back. Infinite waters diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace.